everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of the N64 podcast. Today we're going to be talking about Hexen for the N64, but first, we're going to talk about some stuff that Nintendo is up to. It's going to be a great episode, so let's go ahead and start the show. Alright, hey everyone, got a great episode lined up here for you. This is actually my second time doing the episode. Ran into some problems earlier, got a bunch of phone calls. My poor wife is sick. She's only got a cold, nothing major, but so I had to stop and decided to trash it and start over. I'm glad I did because it made me clear up my head, because what we're going to talk about at first here is kind of a controversial subject when it comes to Nintendo and what they're up to. And so, yeah, we're going to talk about that. And for those of you watching the video version, I have full frame video now. Silly me, I don't know how to set stuff up. So, okay, so what we're going to talk about here first is we're going to talk about Nintendo suing a ROM site. Yes, they have just recently sued a ROM site, and we're going to talk about that. I'm going to read you the article. And it kind of made me sick to my stomach, to be honest. I almost kind of wanted to do this. I can't even talk. I almost wanted to stop doing this show because of it, because it's kind of promoting a company that, let's go ahead and talk about it now. It's kind of promoting a company that, yes, I feel they do have the right to, do what they're doing. And, it's not really a feel. I know for sure that, yeah, they have the rights to protect their IP, and no qualms about that. Nobody said it was wrong. But I feel the way they are going about things is just more evidence that they don't really know what they're doing in this space. And I mean, I'm not a business tycoon. I'm not a business mogul. But as an avid former fan, I'm not a current fan of the current Nintendo. I'll be honest, guys. I'm not. They do things that I do not agree with. So I'm going to go ahead and read the article here to you. And this is from Hot Hardware. Of course, it's been all over the place. I'm sure it's probably old news by the time you're listening to this. But Nintendo sues popular console ROM sites over egregious copyright infringement. So it says here that Nintendo is not a fan of third-party emulators and ROMs, to put it lightly. There's an entire FAQ section on its website that explains Nintendo's stance on emulators and ROMs. But less the point has not been made. The company is suing two of the more popular console ROM sites for hosting pirated games. One of them has shut down. These two sites include loveroms.com and loveretro.co. According to Torrent Freak, both sites are believed to be operated by the same person, Jacob Matthias, and his Arizona company, Matthias Designs LLC. Arizona is where Nintendo filed the lawsuits alleging copyright infringement for hosting a staggering number of pirated games. The LoveRoms and LoveRetro websites are among the most open and notorious online hubs for pirated video games, Nintendo states in its complaint. Though the LoveRoms and LoveRetro websites' defendants reproduce, distribute, publicly perform, and display a staggering number of unauthorized copies of Nintendo's video games, all without Nintendo's permission. LoveRetro is no longer operating as it was. When you visit the site, you see a message saying it has effectively been shut down until further notice. Along with the thank you message for users who frequent the site, LoveRoms remains, but all of the Nintendo ROMs are gone. According to Nintendo's complaint, the site operators are not casual gamers, and instead are sophisticated parties with an extensive. My mustache is bugging me. Sophisticated parties with extensive knowledge of the company's IP and also the games industry at large. Nintendo wants both sides shut down. It's also seeking $150,000 per infringing game and up to $2 million for each trademark infringement. If you add up all the titles that were hosted, sought-after damages balloon to $100 million in addition. Nintendo wants the site operators to rat out the sources of the infringing ROMs. That's part of the lawsuit as well. So they're going to try to ruin a lot of people's lives here. So, okay, here's my take on it. Yes, it's Nintendo's right to do this. I'm never arguing that. It's just the way things are. And I have gotten into quite a few engagements on Facebook over this. On the Nintendo Facebook page, or not Facebook page, I'll get ads targeted. And I always say, you guys are charging way too much for decades-old ROMs. And, of course, all of the apologists, as I call them, come on there. And, well, do you have any examples? It's like I said, if you need me to give you an example, then you're buying into it. And so the way I see the way they're handling this is just asinine. It is. There's a lot better way to go around this than suing the website for $100 million that you're never going to get and making yourselves look like this. You guys are in third place in the console market. You're behind the Xbox and you're behind the PlayStation 4. And I don't care how great a lot of people that love their Switch. If you love it, good for you. I can't stand the thing. I'm being honest. I do not own a current gen gaming console. I just don't like any of them. So you guys are in third. This is partially why people got tired of your crap in the 90s, the way that you were so restrictive on everything, that when the N64, the podcast, the item that this podcast is about, when it came out, people like Square Enix dumped you guys because of your policies. And this is just furthering that, okay? I've got right here next to me, this is further evidence what I'm talking about. They're going about it so mean. Even likes of Microsoft, I don't even know if is this vicious. I mean, they can be, but that you really want to be compared to them. So my suggestions, I have about 3 suggestions here. Number 1, make your ROMs cheaper, okay? You go on Nintendo's eShop website. I pull it up here on my computer, and I went to Virtual Console, and let's say for the Nintendo 3DS. And there's a reason for that, because I actually have a 2DS. That's the only thing I have that's any new, and I didn't buy it myself. It was a gift. It came with 1 game on it, and I bought a couple of DS games that were used. That's it. I won't buy any new games from it. I don't want any money going directly to them. I'd rather buy them used. So I was looking on there the other day, and I'm like, oh, I wonder how much it'd be great to play like Mario Brothers 3 on this. $4.99 is what they want. $4.99. So I said something about it on Nintendo's Facebook page. And these apologists, well, $4.99, that's nothing. What is that, a bag of chips and a drink? Oh, you're right. It's not a lot of money. But it also depends what you're getting for that not a lot of money. Giving someone $1 isn't a lot of money, but if you're giving it to them to not better themselves, make themselves worse, that could be a lot of money, if you know what I mean. So $4.99 for a decades-old ROM at this point, that is, I don't even know how big it is. It's very small, I imagine. A few K, maybe 100K. I'm not even sure how big it is. So, man, I tell you what, my mustache is bugging me here. Anyways, my point is, you guys are charging $4.99. Well, it furthers here. Looking on the website, Super Mario Brothers, released February 16th, 2012 on the Virtual Console, $4.99. Now, that is a fun game. It's not worth that, though. No. Here's an actual cartridge of it, one of a couple I have. I paid $1.99 for it with Duck Hunt. $1.99. And this isn't just third party. I mean, Nintendo must be setting some of the prices on here, because Sega's games that they are either giving away or are really cheap elsewhere, they are actually $4.99 on the same console as well. And like here's Golf by Nintendo for the NES, 99 cents. Okay, Ice Hockey by Nintendo, 99 cents is all I paid for it. Physical copy, can be played in anything. That's another thing. I kind of noticed this with the Virtual Console. I bought a Wii on launch day. Yes, I did. It was the last Nintendo console I have bought new. And it came out, and we waited at the GameStop till midnight to get it at the midnight release. And well, we went home. First thing I did was put Super Mario 64 on it. Love that game. As you know, I just spent 3 episodes talking about it. So then I sold my Wii years later after I bought a bunch of other virtual consoles. Yes, I knew what an emulator was then, but it was just so easy on there. And I went on there and, sold it, cleared it out, sold it. So a few years later, I met my wife, and we bought a used Wii off of a buddy of mine, hooked it up, and I thought, okay, hey, I can get my downloads back. No, they were tied to the Wii. What is this, 1907? Is this how we're doing things now? It's like telling me, oh, this NES game is locked to your cartridge or to your console only. They'd love to do that if they get away with it. I know they would. Another thing, you guys make it really hard to buy stuff in your store. Like, I have to add funds to my my virtual store or whatever, the eShop. Just take a credit card, for Pete's sake, people. This is 2018. You guys are way behind on online. You do offer an online thing now for the Switch, but even it's at best, you get cloud saves. Woohoo! So my suggestion to Nintendo is, don't sue these people. Get smarter. Do like the music industry did, and make things cheaper. People will actually buy stuff from you if you make it easy to obtain and at a very good cost. If a bunch of these games on here were 99 cents, I'd be buying them left and right for my 2DS. Why? Because it's easier for me to do that than to homebrew it and put the ROMs on there myself. 99 cents, go in the store, bam, put my credit card in, done. Right? You guys don't do it that way. I have to load up some weird money, round off, I'm going to have a couple of cents left over here, and then I've got to buy it, and it's locked to that console. No. So my suggestion, number one, make your ROMs cheaper. That's all you got to do. That'll take care of a lot of it. Number two, when people buy a new system from you, give them more ROMs. You guys give out, I saw like on Amazon Prime Day, they had some kind of a 2DS or 3DS, and they had, oh, hey, it comes with Super Mario Kart, and it was the SNES edition. One game? Why not? Why not all of your first-party titles for the Super Nintendo? Are they really worth that much to you guys? Number two, or three, I guess. Your new Switch Online thing that includes 30 NES games, just put them all on there. Nobody has to have a special version of everything. Just put them on there. I'm telling you, people will buy them if you put them within the right price point. You have some people buying them already at the higher end price point. Guys like me that are cheapskates, no. I'd rather hang on to the cartridge and just play it that way. It's not worth it to me to go in there and pay you guys $5 for a game. Now, granted, most of these games I can't go out and buy for that cheap, and there are a few. If you go to your local stores, you can find, like I said, 99 cents, $1.99 for some old Nintendo games. There's one just down in a city about a half hour from here that I can get a lot of NES games at really good prices. Now, are they portable? No. Oh, sorry about that. I hit the microphone with my headset, and I was just checking to make sure my dog was still here. He is. He's a good boy. So, anyways, that's what I was talking about. And let me know what you guys think. I honestly am very passionate about this. I've tried the Switch, and I don't like it. I'm just being honest. I do not care for it. If you love it, more power to you, man. I don't. To me, it equates to a tablet with some nice controllers that has a dock. That's really kind of what it is if you think about it. It's got the same guts as an NVIDIA Shield TV, and it's dockable. And, I tried the new Mario, didn't like it. Love Mario 64. That game is not, I don't know, Mario's too slippery or something. I just did not care for it. The levels don't seem like they put as much time into it. I guess I'm not sure what I'm trying to say, but yeah, Nintendo, please just, you guys are going about this the wrong way. You're going to come out looking really bad. And the only thing it's going to make people do is just literally try harder to bypass this. There's nobody's denying your rights to do this. Nobody is. But you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. And you guys are pouring nothing but vinegar into the throats. You guys are in third place. You do things the old-fashioned way. And it's a shame. In this person's opinion, it's a shame what you guys are doing. I really wish you would stop. I don't like Nintendo that it is Wii and beyond. I just don't care for the way you guys do things. You do it backwards compared to the rest of the world. And yeah, you guys could throw me other examples. Well, hey, they still sell old movies and stuff. That they do. You are correct. They do still sell old movies. But the thing is that movies and games are different media. Sometimes you can get a movie, for $20, or what do? They start putting multi-packs, Turner Classic Movies. You can buy 4 classic movies for like $9.99. And I don't see Nintendo doing things like this. They just don't. And it's really sad. Guys, I've been in IT a very long time. I know how to emulate these. I do emulate these. As I've always said, Nintendo will probably never, ever sanction this podcast. It's one of them come after me for using their logo for the podcast logo. But they just stop. Stop being this way, guys. It's just really bad to me. And I've spent 16 minutes talking about this here. And it just makes me real sad. I'm sorry if I'm going on here. All right, so just let me know what you think, if you guys agree with that or not. But now it's time to talk about Hexen. So Hexen, I rented this game when I was a kid, and the box art was kind of creepy looking on the front. It's got that weird, like, shadowy thing. I didn't know that it was a sequel to Heretic. I had no idea. So the game came out. I'm actually going to pull it up here. Now, I will tell you, I haven't played too much of this. I did play enough to, I think, give it a fair assessment. If someone had to, if someone put a gun to my head and said, describe it in as few words as possible, I'd say, well, it's Doom with a medieval skin with magic, because that's exactly what it reminds me of. So I'm pulling it up here. The dates that it came out for the Nintendo 64, North America, May 31st, 1997, and European Union, 4th quarter of 1997. And the plot here, this is from Wikipedia. Following the tale of Desperal's death in Heretic, Hexen takes place in another realm, Kronos, which is besieged by the second of 3 Serpent Riders, Korax. 3 heroes set out to destroy Korax. The player assumes the role of one such hero. Throughout the course of his quest, he travels through elemental dungeons, a wilderness region, a mountainous seminary, wow, and a large castle, and finally a necropolis. And this game is, it's got a hub world. You get to pick one of 3 characters to play as: a fighter, a cleric, or a mage. The cleric is like your all-around guy. Fighter, I love playing as him the best. And then the mage just has like a magic wand. There is magic and stuff in the game, but I like being the fighter because you just walk up to these big beasts and you just punch them, and it's quite funny. So I put out there on Twitter and on Facebook if anyone had any feedback to submit it, and I actually did get one submission from, it was the Super Podcast Brothers, and I'm sure it was probably Andy over there, I'm guessing, but they said that I weirdly like this game despite it not being very good on the N64. I'd rather play this than either of the N64 Quake games. So I've not played Quake on the N64, and if I have, it's been a while. I'll have to go back and try that, but I will take your guys' word for it. I also told them that, when I rented the game, I thought it was very different than what I imagined, but I ended up liking it. And, it's got a place in my heart for that. Well, not really my heart, I guess. But then I told them that I was listening to their Best of 7800 episode, and now I'm buying one, so it should be here tomorrow. I'm stoked. Yeah, so it was quite funny. They responded with saying that I was one of them. Anyways, so the game was developed by Raven Software originally and published by id Software. John Romero was actually one of the producers. The guy that's going to make you his BITCH, Daikatana joke. And the version that runs on the N64 was developed by Beam Software. And we'll go ahead and talk about it a little bit. So one thing I did like is, depending on which of the 3 classes you chose, it changed the difficulty. On Doom, when you start a new game and you get to choose the difficulty, and it's like Knee Deep in the Dead and a couple other options, Nightmare. It changes what those are. Like, it'll say things like Paladin, Knight, and it depends on the class that you got. So basically you spawn, and this is one of the best glass breaking or window breaking simulators I've seen on the N64, because you do break a lot of glass in this game because there's a lot of stuff hiding behind it. It's like stained glass. And so you run around and you go through the different levels, and there's puzzles to unlock stuff. And just imagine Doom with a skin of, with magic thrown in a skin of medieval type of stuff. And that's exactly what this game is. It's a lot of fun. If I found it in the wild for $2 or $3, I'd pick it up. No, Nintendo, I would not pay $4.99 for it. Your ROM, anyways. So yeah, there's some trivia associated with the game here that I'm going to pull up here. So the controversy, the Steam download version of the game is listed as Windows platform because the executables are modified to use a DOSBox variant, version 0.70. Additionally, the traditional setup.exe is missing. It is confirmed that neither Valve or id Software contacted the DOSBox project staff, and initially the game didn't include the TXT files that must be present under the GPL license, so they failed to fulfill 2 points of the GPL license. 2 days after the launch, there was an update that includes copying authors and things.txt on the DOSBox 0.71. So that is the Steam Windows version of the game. It also came out on other consoles, PlayStation, and the Sega Saturn. In the Necropolis, you can find graves that have the names of some of the authors written on them. So that's kind of cool. I'm actually pulling up Steam here, and I want to see how much it goes for on Steam. I'm sure it's going to be a different version of the game, but it's worth checking into. And of course, I spell Hexen wrong because I am a dummy. Now, Hexen is going for $4.99. You can also get Hexen 2 for $4.99 as well. And wow, that looks a lot different. Never played that before. Don't even think I've heard of it. Okay, so there are a couple other little trivia assets in here. So let's talk about those. We have the first hub, the 7 portals. There's a secret level hidden. Once you're in it, you can find Disparals from the original Heretics heart in there. The villain's name Corax is derived from the scientific name of the common raven, Corvus corax. This is an intentional joke as the game was developed by Raven Software. The first place in the game where the Porculator artifact can be found is in Hub 2 Caves of Circe. Circe was a character in Greek mythology who transformed Odysseus's crew into pigs. So that's really neat. Okay. References to the game. The final boss of Serious Sam's second encounter, Mordecai the Summoner, carries a staff very similar to the Blood Scourge, the last weapon of the mage class in Hexen Beyond Heretic. Should also be noticed that the enemy as a whole looks very similar to Disparal, the final boss of Heretic. And so, let's see. Speech. One of the demonic sounds that the enemy Dark Bishop sometimes utters when played backwards actually sounds like his name. Title in German, Hexen means witches or casting a spell when used as a verb. Moreover, the game has a warlock skill level. A warlock or Hexenmeister is the male version of a witch. And the PlayStation version can be called notoriously evil for being one of the few games on the system to require one entire memory card. Yes, all 15 blocks just to save one game. Kid you not. So yeah, this game does support the memory card, and it does have 4-player simultaneous multiplayer. It does have a couple of other things that are better than the other console versions. So, for instance, the N64 version was developed by Software Creations, retains all the graphical quality and scenery architecture, has a consistent frame rate, it is buttery smooth, and it includes high detail and smooth filtering. The version also has 4-player split-screen cooperative and deathmatch modes. Although they must be played in low detail mode due to the cartridge storage limitations, the N64 version is based on the original PC floppy version and lacks the FMV cutscenes and Red Book audio music introduced in the CD-ROM version, although it has a new narrative introductions to the levels. I remember the guy saying, you know, it looked like the icon of Sin from Doom being like, hey, mortal, are you ready to die? So yeah, this game is cool. If I find it for a few bucks in the wild, I'm definitely picking up. Emulation, though, it does not emulate the best under Project 64. There are a lot of graphical glitches. You have to keep hitting the button to make the levels load. On my phone, I could not get the thing to emulate more than just a few minutes, or actually maybe a minute, and then it would just stop. Project 64 on my Android and I use a Galaxy S7 Edge, so it's, you know, fairly modern phone. And yeah, it wouldn't even load anything in there. So I downloaded like 3 other N64 emulators. Yes, Nintendo, I did use an emulator. Anyways, I used those and I tried it, and it would emulate for a few seconds and then it would just crash right back out. So mobile emulation is not good. It does run just fine on the computer if you forget the graphical glitches. I forgot to mention that Mario 64 in the last episode emulates perfectly fine, and everything I tested it with, you know, I use Project 64 primarily on my desktop. So that worked good there as well. Okay, let's talk about some people that made the game here. And producer for id Software was Sean C. Green and Barrett Alexander. So Sean worked on, let's see, Quake The Offering, Final Doom, this game, Quake, Doom 2, Doom 64. Worked on quite a few things. Age of Booty Tactics, I'm not sure what that is. Brothers in Arms D-Day, 007 Nightfire, and he was a lead programmer on Halo Combat Evolved. So that's kind of cool. Barrett Alexander worked on a lot of Quake, and yeah, that is very true. As basically support and projects and support, it's listed as here. So let's see here. Producers GT Interactive was Asif Chaudhry. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Is a producer on a lot of NBA 2K games now, all the way from NBA 2K6 up to NBA 2K7 or 18. So Asif has been doing a lot there. Robert Wong was another one of the producers here. Load Runner 2, Courier Crisis, Jaws Unleashed, Quality Assurance for The Sims 2, Star Command Revolution, Clockworks, Jumping Flash. Oh, Jumping Flash, that's a fun little game for the PlayStation. So yeah, that's a really good game if you're looking for one for that. Let's see here. Producer Software Creations was Mark Wilding, and Mark Wilding has worked on quite a few other things here as well. Viet Cong 2, he was head of studios production for Gladiator, Sword of Vengeance. Looks like he hasn't done anything recently here. A lot of like edutainment software as a tester. All right, let's see here. Programming, Stephen Ruddy and Alan Findlay. Let's see here. Stephen Ruddy has also been a programmer on MotoGP, Gladiator, Sword of Vengeance, Foreman for Real, The Big KO, Made Men, Confessions of the Family Blood as a project lead. Alan Findlay, Switch Galaxy Ultra, Bang Bang Racing, Future Tactics, The Uprising, Worms Blast, Nicktoons Racing as programmer. All right, let's see here. Sound, Paul Tung, Martin Goodall, and Suddy Reval all did the sound and the music. So Paul Tung has worked on Loop, Samurai Jack, Aimlin at Time, Dexter's Laboratory, Rugrats, Time Travelers, Cutthroat Island. I remember that for the, I think that was on, what, the Genesis or something? Yeah, and the Super Nintendo. Okay, and then Martin Goodall did Super Monkey Ball Jr. in 2002, Nicktoons Racing, Rugrats Castle Capers, Rugrats in Paris, the movie, Rugrats Time Travelers as sound and music. And Suddy here has done Lego Ninja Go movie video game, Lego Star Wars, Lego Jurassic, a lot of Lego games, like a ton of them, as the audio and audio manager and audio engineer. Graphics is Francis O'Brien. F1 2009, The Getaway Black Monday, Border Zone, The Getaway, Carmageddon 2, Carpocalypse Now as an artist. And Quality Control was Paul Lee, Simon Huddley, Craig Dobson, and Chris Brooks. So let's see if they did anything else here, these guys. Anything of major significance. Yeah, Carmageddon 2 for Paul Lee as well. Rugrats, Castle Capers, NASCAR 2000 for Simon. Craig did Invisimals, Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team, Lego Harry Potter Years 5 through 7 as Quality Assurance Tester. Hydrophobia as a tester. I think I've played that before, haven't I? Hydrophobia? Maybe I haven't. No, I have. I think I have that on my Steam. And then Chris Brooks, Airport Tycoon 2 as a programmer, Bird Hunter 2003, Deer Hunter 2003, Duke Nukem Manhattan Project, Primal Prey, Bird Hunter as programmers, Quality Assurance and Hitman Contracts, Shell Shock NAM 67, Whiplash, Hexen Beyond Heretic. That's this game. Okay, so there's the fine people that made the game here, and let's go ahead and see how much this game goes for. So on eBay, several sold listings, $6.10, that's with $3.50 shipping, $8.75, buy it now with free shipping, $9.99 free shipping, $10.99 buy it now, free shipping, $11.99 free shipping, $29.94 free shipping. So yeah, the game is not that expensive. Amazon, you can get it for $7.09 plus $3.94 shipping, $7.19 with $4.49 shipping, $7.74 for $3.95. Yeah, I don't know if I'd pay that much for it. Like if I get one of those deals, $6 with free shipping, I'd probably go with that. If I see the game local, I'm probably going to pick it up. it is fun to play. I recommend everyone give it a try. I know we kind of breezed through it here, but I am running a little short on time, and I'm just really disturbed over this Nintendo news that broke. And so I'm sorry, guys, if it's affecting me personally, but it is. I just want to say that I grew up thinking Nintendo was the best thing on earth, and I guess as an adult, I'm not two people. As an adult, I just don't see it as much because I really miss that company that it was. I didn't know of all the inside stuff they were doing, trying to get people to, saying, hey, you can only release so many games a year on the system and all that. I realized they were scared because of the crash, but they also created a monopoly over that, and I don't agree with that at all, guys. So I guess it's just something they're going to have to sort out for themselves. I'm not going to defend them. They can defend themselves. I'm definitely not going to go on line and defend them. Never. But yeah, that's just how I feel on it. So yeah, pick up Hexen. You guys are going to love it. A little bit of a shorter episode. I'm sorry, but I just don't feel the best here with everything that's going on. Maybe I'm catching what my wife has here. So yeah, the N64 podcast, of course, is available on Stitcher. It's available on iTunes. We're out there on Google Play Music. Our theme song is Don Del Piero's Childhood Heroes of the Past. I just love this synthwave tune. If you want to email the show, it's show@n64podcast.com. Twitter is @the N64podcast. Facebook is facebook.com/N64podcast. You can catch us here. We're up to, I believe, 40 likes now. So woohoo! Thank you very much, everyone. YouTube version of this show, now including video of me, my ugly mug, talking into my crappily made, but I'm very proud of, microphone setup, is available at youtube.com/AndyVGR. Be sure to check it out. Give it a like. Give me a subscribe if you don't mind. This show never asks for anybody's money ever. I'm never going to say, hey, here's my Patreon. It's fine if people do that, but I'm not one of them. I do this because it's fun to me, and I do it with my own money. And once it becomes not fun, I won't do it anymore. So, I mean, there's a downside to it, but I'm having a blast doing it. And we're going to be continuing on here. I know I'm not quitting this over anything. It's just I got so riled up about it. And everybody, I just want to say one last thing out there, and that is good gaming, everybody.